What is the void of pure potential? Taoism called it Wu Ji, the limitless void. Zen says in the void, there is not a single thing, an inexhaustible treasure. Hinduism calls it Shunya, the same word for zero, meaning the void, the supreme state of awareness, where everything comes to nothingness before being created anew. All these traditions are thousands of years old and require a lifetime, thousands of hours of study, meditation, ascetic discipline. Now the level of consciousness on the planet is steadily rising. Now we have the Stargate, instant access to the beyond. Stay tuned as we interview Alcazar, a universal master, about the mysteries of the void and how energy transmissions from this interdimensional doorway can actually take us beyond the field, into the void of pure potential. So, hello and welcome everyone.
Here we are in Mount Shasta and really excited about the potential of what's going to come through today.
Really stoked about the potential of actually touching the void of pure potential. And so our interview with Alcazar today is about perhaps the greatest mystery of all time, because the question is, what is existence and what's beyond existence? What's beyond the quantum field? So, welcome everyone. We have the Stargate community joining us from all over the world. A big warm hug to all of you. And for anyone here who's new, the Stargate behind us is an interdimensional doorway.
And it's an anchor for a higher dimensional consciousness.
And we use this to actually raise our vibrational frequency so that we can have firsthand experiences of the quantum field and perhaps even touch the void. So we've been, in the past year, in 2021, we've been meditating almost every day with the Stargate community around the world in this program that is called Becoming Superconscious. And we're about to move into the void. And so as we were doing Becoming Superconscious, we asked Alcazar, what's the next step? What is the next journey together going to be? And Pragit, you heard immediately.
Instantly, yeah. It's called Into the Void. And we looked at each other and go, wow, that sounds really cool.
Yeah. So our first question for Alcazar today is, why are we moving from becoming superconscious into the void?
And so, beloved ones, we greet thee, 'tis Alcazar. It is a great honor to be here with each and every one of you. And as we talk, if you relax, you might feel our presence coming to you. You might feel the energy we share behind the words. The program Becoming Superconscious was designed to assist each individual in becoming more aware of the communal energy that you have created together. Why? Because, beloved ones, when you connect and you tangibly feel the thousands of people around the world all joining in the moment, then you start to use that energy to amplify your own experience. And so we would invite in this moment, whether you are listening to this live or to a recording, in this moment, have the intention of connecting energetically with everyone, hundreds and hundreds of people around the world. Feel the connection, intend to connect with them. And you might sense a field that is starting to grow just with all of your intentions. Relax, intend to connect, And maybe you can sense a field growing. So, why are we moving from this program, becoming super conscious, into the new experience of into the void? Into the void implies moving deeper. Into the void implies going beyond the beyond. Understand that we are trying to explain to you something that is inexplicable. We cannot put into words the experience of the void. We cannot explain to you how to get there, which seems to be a bit of a conundrum. And so, becoming super conscious was a preparation. We gave you images of being in the blackness. We gave you experiences of connecting to different aspects of self to connect with the guides in the quantum field. These were ways of preparing your mind for going into the void. So let us give you an example, because you have not been there before. We are encouraging you to go somewhere where you have not been. And so it is difficult for you to imagine what it is we are trying to draw you into. So, for lifetimes, you have been here in the physical. The physical has been your reality. For lifetimes, you have not imagined there is something such as the quantum field, the void, beyond, the no-thingness. Your various religions have called it God or gods or spirit. But it is perhaps even more difficult to explain. Now your science is beginning to discover incredible aspects and understandings of this reality that you are in. And the old religions tried to explain in parables and stories. But now, beloveds, now is the time when you can begin to experience what this spirit is, what this pure consciousness is, the void. So the example we would like to give you. You can imagine perhaps taking a bite out of a lemon. Very often this is used. You can imagine it, you can almost taste it, or eating a banana, whatever. You can get a sense of it. Why? Because you've experienced it before many times. And so now we would ask you to imagine biting into a succulent juba juba goo plant. So you don't know what a juba juba goo plant is. You cannot imagine it. You cannot imagine what it would feel like. It is the same with the void. You cannot imagine it. We cannot describe it. But we will be bringing you to the doorway, so to speak, the edge of your physical reality. And as you come to this point again and again, there might be a moment when you move beyond that threshold into the void. When you do this, you will know a whole new reality. You will understand the physical reality in a completely different way. You will start to realize you are the creator, not because we have said so in words, but you will know it instantly, for you will connect to that part of self that we call the superconscious you, or your higher self, if you prefer this term. You will become, in the void, your superconscious self. for a moment or longer. So, our attempt in this new series is to bring you to the threshold again and again, giving you images, pointing the direction, in the hope that at some point, either in the program or as you go about your daily life, that suddenly you pop into the void and know who you are. Okay?
Thank you, Alcazar. And as we go through this interview, I invite all of you who are watching right now to post comments or questions in the chat if they arise as they arise. I want to move into mystical experiencing. Because for me, as we were moving through becoming super conscious, and Alcazar, you were inviting us all to imagine the quantum field not as a network of like sparkling energy coming from the void into existence, but actually the blackness. It felt to me like you were inviting us to attune to a truth that was like very deep. And actually, a lot of people have resistance to imagining the quantum field as this like vast emptiness, the blackness all around us. Can you say anything about that?
The reason that there is a concern about moving into the blackness of the void is because of the conditioning that you have here in this duality. You think of blackness or darkness as the opposite of light, which indeed it is in your reality. In the void, however, as we have said in Becoming Superconscious, in the void, it is the blackness beyond the duality of light and dark. It is beyond your physical reality. It is beyond this third dimension that you live in. It is the absolute no-thingness. And as we have said before, in your Bible, it says in the beginning, there were the words, "Let there be light," which suggests there was no light before that moment. And this is the way that the creation is trying to be described in your Bible. So do not be concerned. Do not allow the mind to prevent you from having this experience simply because you have a concept of blackness or darkness being bad or evil. Not at all. The void is the place of pure consciousness. It is spirit. We have said in Becoming Superconscious, this spirit, this void, this place of utter no-thingness is pure consciousness. And from this pure consciousness, your third dimensional reality is created, which includes the vastness of your universe. But it includes also the vastness of the multiverse. Your science has not discovered other universes yet, but mathematically they know it is a high probability. Also, beloveds, there are other dimensional realities. These are also created from the void, from the quantum field. And so the void is a place of incredible energetic energy even before light. It is almost impossible to imagine it. That is why we have quite a challenge to introduce you to it.
Yeah. Cool. Liz Burton is saying, I was in the void during my near-death experience. Not scary, and I knew it was alive, and it was very high energy. I could fly, and I tried to find the boundaries, but there were none. And so I want to describe the only reason that I personally know that you're guiding us into something that's real when you say this vastness, this blackness in all directions, because at the literally the only time that I personally have ever left my body consciously happened when I was in college at UC Santa Cruz, and nearby there's the Mount Madonna Center where Baba Haridas, an Indian yogi, has lived at the time. And I was spending time in his energy. And so I had been in the vibration of an enlightened person. And later that night, I was in my dorm room doing breath work. And when you release the breath is when you have this flood of energy. But for the first and only time, when I released the breath, it was super intense. And I basically skyrocketed. I flew out of my body and into the void. And it felt like a stripping away. It was so intense. And it felt like the only way I could describe it is it felt like dying. And then I was in the void, and there was just pure blackness in all directions. I was there long enough to become aware that my personality didn't come with me. It was just pure consciousness, which is weird to describe and kind of alien because I now am in my personality. But as I was there, I got to touch this eternal part of me. And I was there just long enough to basically clock that there was no one else there, nothing else there. It was just this blackness in all directions that you describe. And then boom, I was back in my body and basically gripping the carpet and so for me, that experience was a gift, because it's only when we have these type of firsthand mystical entry points that we can really penetrate into this mystery.
Indeed. And we would just like to comment on what you said. You said, I left my body. So the I that you are referring to is your consciousness, your superconscious self. You connected to that part. But do you notice you were still separate from? You were in, but still separate from. And this is beautiful. It is the next step that we are trying to encourage people to experience. And then beyond that, there's the dissolving. And as this beautiful one, Liz, commented, in what is often called a near-death experience, she also, in a different way, moved into the field, into the void, separate from it still, but having that experience. And that is beautiful. Because, beloved ones, the reason that we gather you together for Into the Void is because those who have already had that experience are more likely to move into it again. And as they move into it, and as you are all connected energetically into one energy field with your intention, then as few people move into the void, they create almost like a vacuum that sucks others into it as well. And so there's this energy of movement into the void, moving it over that threshold that we were talking of. We can take you to the doorway, to the threshold, and then you need to move beyond. You need to move into the void. But it is not something you can do with your mind. It is something that can happen, may happen, when you're in a relaxed meditative state. And so into the void will be a series of meditations. Into the void will be another opportunity to move deeper into knowing self. And so we look forward to the potentials that each one of you hold as we join together. Okay.
Yeah, great. And so we actually want to hear from those of you who have actually touched the void.
Indeed.
So we're going to encourage you. We're going to do another interview with Alcazar in 1 week's time. And if you have actually had like an experience of going into the void and you want to come on camera and talk to Alcazar about it and get some insight, you can write to us at support@thestargateexperience.com, or we are in the beginning of March going to actually begin to move into the experiential portion of Into the Void. And we're starting this program with the first week, which is the first 3 days of live energy transmissions. They're going to be broadcast for free. So if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, subscribe or like our Facebook page. But also, even better is sign up for these free experiences now. So you can go to stargate.live/beyond. We're going to write an email to everybody who's signed up and invite you guys to share these experiences, to post questions for this next interview with Alcazar. So if you sign up there, you'll receive the email with like a little form that lets you submit a question. We'll send that out soon. Okay, so there's somebody who's asked, what is the difference then if the void and the quantum field are both this blackness in all directions? What's the distinction or the difference between the quantum field and the void?
In one sense, there is no difference. When we were working with you in the previous program, Becoming Superconscious, we brought you into an imagination. We were preparing your mind in a sense, but we were not bringing the energetic to bring you to that doorway, to that threshold. We were preparing you. We would take you into the blackness. Some of you managed to have a deeper experience. But we were working primarily with your ability to image, to imagine. And for some, this was also a challenge. But as you progressed through that program, Becoming Superconscious, more and more of you could move your consciousness into that blackness. So what is the void as opposed to the quantum field? It is the same, but we would say you are moving deeper into it. You are leaving behind your personality, as this one Julianne had just said. And this one Liz, who mentioned the near-death experience, she will also have noticed that her personality was not there. And so we are taking you a little deeper, closer to the experience of this no-thingness. The difference is subtle. That is all.
Yeah, so
It is about the way you experience it.
thanks, Alcazar. Michaela is saying she drowned at 8 years old and phased into the black that was nothing but warm, euphoric love. And Linda Foley is saying, black has many meanings. It is the womb of creation, like going through a tunnel of unconditional love. So I want to talk a little bit about a model for our dimensional reality that comes from the Resonance Science Foundation. And to me, this illustrates the void is sort of like exactly what the womb of creation. And then our dimensions, like our entire universe and all the dimensional realities from the 3D up until all the frequency ranges, this is all emanations from the void. So in the Resonance Science Foundation, space and time, in this unified model of physics, they're not empty. They're actually full of the most dynamic energy in physics. And so there's energy constantly like phasing in and out, but it balances usually. And so space appears to be smooth, but the closer you zoom in toward the subatomic levels, the more that energy starts to be this torrent. And sometimes when we meditate with the Stargate, it's as if I'm wondering, it's like, because we start to tingle, like, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, literally every cell of your body starts to feel like it's tingling, like almost like you can feel that energy that's pulsing in and out of existence. And I'm wondering, Alcazar, if you can tell us anything about how the Stargate frequencies may be connected to the actual fundamental background energy of space-time.
Now you are moving into a complexity that most people are not really attuned to. So let us say this. When you feel the tingling or the experience of energy in your body, we talk of your energy field. What is your energy field? Where does it come from? First of all, we create an enhanced awareness of your own energy. But as you have just said, Julia, there is more to it. We are supporting you to excite your physical beingness. And indeed, on this very, very deep level of your physics, what is occurring is that there is a more rapid movement on a physical level, a level beyond your cells. This rapid movement gives you the sensation of your energy vibrating higher, because indeed that is exactly what is happening. You are vibrating at a higher frequency. And this higher frequency, as you remain in that energetic, it actually starts to influence the physical reality. It starts to influence your body, the functioning of your body. It can actually dissolve limitations that you have been holding in your physical body. This is why people experience or report to us all kinds of changes in their physical body. Many experience youthing in the body. Many experience dis-ease, disappearing from their bodies in moments. Why? Because they have allowed that vibration. They have relaxed totally into it. They have not held on to the emotional or the mental ideas and feelings that have been maintaining the imbalance or the dis-ease in their body. So understand this. These higher vibrations, if you totally relax into them without trying to direct the energy, without trying to do anything, without any expectation, because expectation is also a subtle manipulation of the energy, wanting it to go a certain way. If you can totally relax into the energies that we bring here, then these energies, as you remain in them, start to realign the frequencies of your emotion, of your physical body, of your mental programming. They start to realign to this higher frequency. And as you allow the realigning by simply being present, nothing to do, as you allow this realigning, change happens. You cannot direct it. You can simply be in it and allow. So,
Thank you. I imagine the reason you can't direct it is because it's literally being orchestrated by the intelligence of spirit.
it is indeed the intelligence of spirit, and that aspect of spirit which we call your superconscious self. So perhaps we should say a little of this for those who are unaware of this term. We suggest that the real you is not in the body, and your experience of going into the void that you have described, you recognize my personality was not there.
Yeah.
So you moved into this higher awareness, which is your superconscious self. We have invited people to imagine a boundaryless bubble of energy around your humanness in all directions, a sphere of energy, a sphere of consciousness that we call your superconscious self. As you imagine this again and again, what you are doing is programming your subconscious to be aware of this presence. It is not as a sphere around you, but this image of a sphere around you is enough to begin to allow your superconscious to be aware and to be drawing in the void, which is part of the superconscious you. And your superconscious, when you start to become aware of it, can connect with you in a deeper way. Your intuition is your superconscious wanting to guide your human experience, wanting to guide you moment by moment to the highest potential that is available to you in that moment. So, as we have said many times in Becoming Superconscious, listen, trust, follow your intuition. It is you guiding you.
Okay. So I want to go. Last night in my sleep state, I had this dream where I was essentially just shown a very simple way of visualizing the void and the quantum field. And so essentially, in this unified physics, we can imagine the very fabric of space and time as being composed of these tiny pixels of energy. And the beauty, like the kind of amazing thing about these pixels, is it's an arbitrary measurement. It's just what physics has decided is the smallest wavelength that they can measure. And it's based on the speed of light. So it's like the smallest little pixel that actually like delineates how fast information can travel through space and time, okay? So if you imagine all of space and time as this flower of life of all these overlapping pixels of energy, and then you realize that they're all flashing in and out of existence as they're vibrating, as they're oscillating. So the entire universe, empty space, isn't empty, it's full of energy, and this energy is flashing constantly in and out of existence. Basically, what we're talking about as existence is the illusion of space and time. And what we're talking about as out of existence is what I would call the void, which is like, you could call it different things like hyperspace or a singularity. It's an informational realm. So, quite literally, this is the mechanism by which the universe knows itself. Every pixel of energy in the entire universe, when it flashes out of existence, is being updated with the status of every other point in space and time. So to me, when I think of the quantum field and the void, that's what I think of. I think about the fabric of existence. And then I think about this informational singularity, this place that's outside of space and time. So while light takes a certain speed limit and it travels through our space and time, there's also this vast interconnected wormhole network that allows two particles to be entangled, where what happens to one instantaneously with zero delay happens to another, even if it's on the other side of a galaxy or the universe. And that can happen because the two are connected through a wormhole into the void. So this is where the limits break down. Just
So, this concept of a wormhole was something that your science fiction imagined many, many years ago. Your science, your leading edge science, is now using this phrase to describe entanglement in terms of into the void. When you can move beyond this threshold that we have talked about, when you can experience this vast emptiness that is alive, it is pure consciousness, it is the creative force that creates everything, the womb of existence as it has been described. When you can move there, when you have done this many times, you will be able to merge with it totally. Your consciousness can connect to the vast consciousness of all that is, of spirit. There will still be a level of separation because your consciousness cannot simply absorb all that is. We have talked from the very beginning of the Stargate here on your earth. We have said that teleportation would one day be possible using the Stargate and the energies the Stargate can bring. This would be because you can, from this place of the void, your consciousness in the void. You can, from this superconscious self in the void, you can simply refocus the vibration that you call your body. You can simply remove that focus and place it elsewhere. So you can remove the energetic focus which you call your body. Remove it from where it is in one location and project that consciousness, that frequency and energetic of your body into another location. It sounds far-fetched, but already, as you know, your science fiction is doing this. It has been for many years. Understand that those who have been gifted by the visions, who create these stories that you call science fiction, it is not just their imagination, it is their superconscious seeding ideas and potentials to humanity. So, beloved ones, into the void, as you work together, we'll be seeding humanity with a new level of potential. And you will be the way showers if you choose to participate fully in this program.
Wow. Thank you. Alcazar, Linnea is asking, what is your relationship to the void?
We are in the void. We are communicating from the void. We do not have a physicality as you do. We are a momentary vibration coming through this one from the void.
In the void, is that where we are all in a state of oneness?
It is hard for the mind to grasp that you are all part of the oneness. This void, this pure consciousness, spirit, created the various dimensions and populated them with beings. This physical body was created from the physicality. Your consciousness came into the body. A small part of your superconscious self populates the body for a few years. And then you leave the body again. The body dissolves back into the physical. You, the real you, is this superconscious self, which is part of spirit. As we said, it is hard for the mind to imagine how can you be all one and yet separate. We have also said that everything is just a vast field of energy, and you are simply a ripple in this field of energy. Hard to describe. Everything is energy. Your science knows this. Your physical objects are not really physical. They are just energy vibrating a little slower. Your bodies are just energy vibrating a little slower. The complexity of existence is amazing. But this is the case. You are a superconscious being. Spirit created this wonderful universe. and wanted to experience being in the creation. You are aspects of spirit experiencing the creation. This particular reality of your earth is a reality of separation, the illusion of separation. It feels like you are all separate individuals. In truth, you are just part of this energy field that is all around you, that your universe is comprised of. You are simply a particular density within the field, a ripple, a very, very complex ripple of energy in the field.
Okay. This is exciting. I see this part of the potential of going into the void is actually the ability to let go, to let go, to let go of patterning. So like this is something that happens to me sometimes where I'll do like a breathing exercise and for just a split second, I like cease to exist. It's not the same as going into the void like I was flung in, but it's like for like a split second I experience no mind. And or even just in a moment of stillness. But something happens where it feels as if like there's like a shedding of holding patterns that feels so incredibly liberating. And I feel that this is part of the potential of this program that you're inviting us into is like when we touch pure consciousness, we realign with our perfect blueprint.
You have named that moment correctly. A moment of no mind. It is a brief moment where there are no thoughts, where there is this deep silence. That deep silence can remind you of the field, the vast nothingness. In that moment of no mind, there can indeed be a reset within the physical body, within your nervous system. It takes but a moment. And so, in this process of Into the Void, we are hoping and expecting that many of you will experience this moment of no mind. And again, it is not something you can decide to do, because if you are deciding to do it, it is the mind. So we are wishing to instill an understanding. There is nothing to do. The intention needs to be there, and then you have to let that intention go. The expectation needs to be there, and then you have to let it go.
Yeah, I can like feel the potential energy building as people get excited about this program. It's so cool. Bintu is asking, can Alcazar say something about the light we see, white or golden, the huge light that many people experience with a near-death experience?
Because of your concept of light and dark here, many people would be afraid moving into the darkness because of the judgment that you have, that darkness is associated with evil and that the light is associated with good. And therefore, when you leave the body, if you have this judgment about light and dark, then you will experience the light. You will experience the wonder of this beautiful, warm, golden light. You will experience friends, relatives waiting to greet you, because they will be easing you into this experience of being out of the body, back into an energy of the oneness. But those of you that have absolutely no judgment, if you have the understanding that we are moving you into, then quite possibly your experience will be moving into the vast blackness of no thingness, which is actually a higher level of experiencing as you move out of the body for the final time. So, however you experience transitioning out of the body, know that the feeling itself is of pure delight, pure wonder, and a pure remembrance of, this is who I truly am. Okay?
Okay. So, I'm wondering, as we bring this to a close, if you can.
Already?
I know, right? It's been timeless. If you can say something about the role of the collective energy field that we all create together, because we have hundreds upon hundreds of people. We've got 1,154 people right now live with us. There will be more people watching this later. And as we go into the void, there are hundreds and hundreds of people who have experienced becoming super conscious, been literally like trained for like a year in this mastery of connecting through the field, feeling each other as this unified network around the world. So it feels like we've built this potential energy, which is why we're actually ready to go into the void. So I'm curious if you can say something about that and how that's going to impact people who maybe haven't been doing becoming super conscious.
It is true that thousands rather than hundreds have experienced becoming super conscious and the many, many meditations we did together. Most people could feel the connectedness, the energetic field that you created together simply with your intention of connecting your energy to the thousands of other people. It is a tangible energetic. It is an energetic that happens in the quantum field. For in the quantum field, there is no time, there is no physical place. Your intentions to connect instantly bring your energy into the field where you connect with all those others intending the same connection. And then that field can be felt, can be experienced, and can actually touch you and support you in your individual change. And so already a momentum has been created. And we will take that momentum into this program, into the void. And the beauty is that as you come in, not having experienced becoming super conscious, it will not take you very long to connect into this energy field that is being held by thousands of others. It is of great benefit if you have not participated in becoming super conscious to actually start that process also. But no, you do not have to in order to join into the void. You will be brought along by this wave of energy created by those thousands of people who have already felt the connective energy, experienced the connectedness and the benefits of it.
Thank you, Alcazar. So we're all, with our collective energy, creating this wave that can pick people up and move them with us. So that's what the mechanism is. And so Joanna is asking, question, how can the void help us travel in the human daily life?
We are not sure what you mean by travel, beloved one. Therefore, it is not clear what it is you are asking.
Well, how can it help us operate as a human being in our day-to-day life?
As many have experienced in the becoming superconscious, your daily life starts to gently improve. Many have had health issues, improving, feeling more youthful, feeling more energized, feeling better relationships with the people around them. This will continue as you move into the void. This is a progression, so to speak. As you allow yourself to drop into nothing to do, if you allow yourself to move deeper into the energies that we will be bringing, then this improvement in your daily life will continue, become more obvious. Let us say this. It is important to drop expectations and comparisons. In becoming superconscious, hundreds of people wrote in the chat or wrote to the Stargate about the beautiful experiences they have been having. There were others who said, it is not happening for me. I feel all these people are having a good time, why not me? Because, beloveds, it is about your focus. If you are focusing on what you don't have, if you are feeling jealous of others having experiences, if you are frustrated because you are not having those experiences, the very frustration or judgment prevents those experiences happening for you. The reason that we read out some of the comments is so that you can celebrate the achievement, the experiences of others that they have achieved by non-doing, by simply relaxing into the energies. And so as we move forward, we ask and expect, if you wish to have some of these beautiful experiences, celebrate all that you hear others achieving, experiencing, living. Your celebration, your gratitude for others having beautiful experiences will open you and allow beautiful experiences to come to you. It is possible for all of you to evolve rapidly through this program. But what is needed on your part is the willingness to simply be and celebrate, feel joyful. The more joy you can feel in your life as it is in the moment, the more open you are for more joyful experiences to come. If you are miserable throughout your day, then just expect more misery to come. Beloveds, you choose moment by moment your vibration. Most of this choice is done unconsciously. Bring consciousness to your choice of how you feel moment to moment. You are not victims of what is occurring around you. You have a choice how to respond to what is occurring around you, not react. Reacting is reacting, which is playing out the personality, the same way of responding to particular situations. That is reacting. Responding is different. Responding is feeling what is occurring and right action in that moment.
Yeah, and to that effect, Stephen is saying the more we connect with our superconscious in the void, the more we can consciously create our lives here and in other realms. So the way, the kind of encapsulation of what we're saying, as far as I understand it, and something also very fascinating, is the Stargate is an interdimensional doorway. And so it brings us into frequency ranges from all the dimensional realities. And you've described our higher self as having the ability to subdivide into 12 different aspects, experiencing life, sentience, intelligence in these distinct dimensional realities. And all of the other aspects are aware of us and each other because they are connected to the oneness and the information network that connects all of these dimensional frequencies. So to me, what I hear you saying is essentially all of the dimensional realities emerge from the void, and all of the multiverses emerge from the void. And so the void could be said to be the doorway or the connection point to this truly superconscious knowingness. Is that a good encapsulation, or?
This phrase, womb, is very beautiful, for it is from this energy that everything is created. You mentioned the higher self having the potential to subdivide but still stay whole into 12 different aspects. The other aspects are slightly different simply because your human aspect is experiencing duality. Not all the other realities have this duality. In this duality, there is separation. However close you get to another, there is still separation. That is part of this particular journey you are on here on your earth, here in this dimension. So because you are experiencing separation, you are not allowed to experience those other aspects of self until you reach a certain vibration, a certain level of consciousness. Consciousness is vibration. Consciousness is energy. Your science has recognized this. Consciousness is another form of energy. When you reach a certain level of consciousness, then you can start connecting to those other aspects of self. Until then, they are just a concept, information that we have shared with you. But it is not your knowingness. We have demonstrated this through this one Pragit. We have introduced through him an aspect of himself that is in the galactic command, another aspect that is in the dragon realm, another aspect that is part of the mer people. We have introduced these as a demonstration to those who have been following the Stargate experience. Just so you can have a taste of the similarity and the differences in the vibration or the experiencing of these different aspects of this one whom you call Pragit. Okay?
Cool. Thank you, Alcazar.
Indeed.
So, as we bring this conversation to completion,
What is amusing you?
Linda is asking, is 12 what we can understand, but rather there's an infinite number of aspects of self and an inline number of higher level frequencies?
In terms of the higher self, 12 is the number. 12 is the base number for this reality. Even though your humanity uses 10, when you move to 12, there is a greater understanding of who you are and how this reality works.
Thank you.
Let us say something else. When you move into the void, you can connect to other superconscious beings, so to speak. This is where it is very difficult to explain. And through a connection to others at that level, you can perhaps experience other potentials. But that is too much and too far out to continue right now. Okay?
So the 12 dimensional levels of our universal experience could be seen as like a fractal, and there are other fractals of 12.
That is a beautiful way of describing it, yes.
Thank you. So, anything else you wish to say before we come to completion?
Oh, beloved, there is so much that we could say. But for now, let us just say this. Alcazar and the Stargate were given to humanity at this time. Given to you individually and as a whole, as a mechanism, a consciousness to support you in your rapid evolution. Why? Because, beloveds, it is time to live in peace, in love, and abundance on levels that you have not experienced before. There is so much love for humanity. We wish you to experience it. We wish you to become free. We wish you to know who you truly are. And this is offered from Spirit. This is offered in love. A love far beyond that which you have experienced in this realm. We offer this in love and honoring. And we are hoping that you will be open to receive in order to evolve. And so it is.
Thanks, Alcazar.
Well, that was kind of interesting.
It was very interesting. Someone's asking if the replay will be available, and yes, it will. It's 11:11 here in California.
Great.
Auspicious time to complete. We're going to invite all of you to sign up for this exploration. Go to stargate.live/beyond to sign up. The first 3 days of Into the Void are going to be broadcast for free. starting on March 8th for English. It will be about a week later for the other languages. We are translating this into at least 8 languages. And so go there, enter your name and email, sign up for free. You'll receive all the reminders. And also get in touch with us if you've actually had a direct experience of the void.
Please do that.
We would love to hear about it. This is how we can kind of draw out some of this really intriguing
Magic.
kind of like the magic of the truths that are beyond our humanness. So the first 3 days are also the foundational platform of this program. Like when I have been visualizing it, it's as if all of us in the Stargate community around the world are going to be transmitting to each other these like levels of consciousness that we can access, so that we all create this wave of higher consciousness that's going to take us into the void.
Yeah.
So we invite you all to join us, whether you've been doing Becoming Super Conscious or not. Let's journey together. Catch this wave with us. Let's see where it takes us.
So here's another wave. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. We're going to end with the really beautiful video that
This is
Steffi
really cool.
created for us.
Yeah.
So if I need to hide this comment. Here we go. All right. So we'll see you next week
For another
interview with Alki. And then we'll see you on March 8th.
Yeah, if you have questions, send them in.
Yeah. And if you haven't experienced the Stargate yet, this is just information for our mind. But the potential of the Stargate energies is to go all the way beyond the mind, where we have direct spiritual, mystical experiencing. So sign up and join us, and we'll see you there. Okay. Bye. What is the void of pure potential? Taoism called it Wu-Ji, the limitless void. Zen says in the void, there is not a single thing, an inexhaustible treasure. Hinduism calls it Shunya, the same word for zero, meaning the void, the supreme state of awareness, where everything comes to nothingness before being created anew. All these traditions are thousands of years old and require a lifetime, thousands of hours of study, meditation, ascetic discipline. Now the level of consciousness on the planet is steadily rising. Now we have the Stargate, instant access to the beyond. Stay tuned as we interview Alcazar, a universal master, about the mysteries of the void and how energy transmissions from this interdimensional doorway can actually take us beyond the field, into the void of pure potential.